Hey, soul survivors, we're going to talk about vicarious narcissism, and also you'll have some examples. So this is a psychological concept that describes a particular form of narcissistic behavior exhibited by people who are closely associated with a primary narcissist. Within this dynamic, the person does not display overt, outward narcissistic traits themselves, but they become emotionally invested in and reliant on the admiration and validation received from the primary narcissist. So essentially, the individual with vicarious narcissism derive their own sense of self-worth and identity through their association with the primary narcissist rather than through their own achievements and qualities. They need that primary narcissist to feel validation, importance, and they often develop a parasitic emotional connection, feeling empowered and elevated by their proximity to the primary narcissist's perceived greatness or superiority. And this psychological phenomenon can manifest in various relationships, can be close friendships, family members, or even professional partnerships. The person that has vicarious narcissism can display loyalty, intense admiration, and an uncritical acceptance of the primary narcissist's beliefs and behaviors. They may also defend and protect the narcissist, even when their actions are harmful or unjustified. And the underlying reason behind vicarious narcissism can be multifaceted, but it could be due to emotional dependency. The person with vicarious narcissism may possibly have low self-esteem and a deep need for validation. And by associating with the primary narcissist, this allows them to feel important and valued, fulfilling their emotional void. And they may idealize the primary narcissist, seeing them as a role model or a source of inspiration. And in doing this, they incorporate the narcissist's traits and behaviors into their own identity. The person with vicarious narcissism might enable the primary narcissist's actions to maintain the illusion of perfection, often to avoid facing their own insecurities or weaknesses. A fear of abandonment, the fear of losing the connection with the primary narcissist, may drive the person to maintain their loyalty and support, even in the face of negative consequences. So vicarious narcissism can have negative consequences for the individual displaying the behavior. They may neglect their own needs, suppress their authentic selves, and become emotionally entangled in a toxic relationship. Since they are heavily invested in the primary narcissist's validation, they might suffer emotionally when the narcissist displays lack of interest or empathy. And in therapeutic settings, addressing vicarious narcissism involves helping the individual recognize their own self-worth and develop a sense of self. The narcissist lacks a sense of self. And so as examples, the best friend, let's say we have Alice and Lily. They've been friends for years, and Lily is a classic narcissist, always seeking attention and admiration for others. Alice, on the other hand, is not narcissistic herself, but she derives her self-worth and identity from her association with Lily. She constantly brags about her friendship with Lily, often name dropping and highlighting her close ties to her famous friend. And Alice feels a sense of pride and importance based on the assumption that being friends with Lily makes her special and noteworthy. She doesn't feel her own self-worth. So in this example, Alice exhibits the vicarious narcissism because she relies on her friendship with a primary narcissist. Lily likes to bolster her self-esteem and worth. Her need for validation is met through the perceived prestige and recognition that comes from being associated with a famous or attention-seeking individual like Lily. So the family member, let's say we got John. John's a successful entrepreneur and is a textbook narcissist. He's constantly seeking that admiration from others and exaggerates his accomplishments. And his younger brother Mike has no significant achievements of his own, but feels an emotional dependence on John's success. Mike continuously aligns himself with John's triumphs and takes pride in being related to somebody accomplished. He rarely acknowledges or discusses his own life, preferring to bask in the glow of his older brother's achievements. So why does this happen? In this case, Mike displays this vicarious narcissism by basing his sense of self-worth on his familial association with the narcissistic brother. And rather than seeking to establish his own identity or achieve his own accomplishments, he's relying on John. So that's how he gets his feeling of value and significance. And in the work, the employee, let's say Sarah is a highly accomplished and charismatic CEO of a successful company, and her personal assistant Emily is not narcissistic herself, but deeply admires and idealizes Sarah. Emily feels a strong emotional attachment to Sarah's persona and constantly praises her talents and decisions. She suppresses any personal opinions that may differ from Sarah, and she takes pride in being the right hand to such a powerful and influential leader. So in this scenario, Emily exhibits vicarious narcissism. She's kind of being parasitic by deriving her self-worth and identity from her association with the primary narcissist. Emily's intense admiration and idealization of Sarah leads her to neglect her own thoughts and opinions as she feels fulfilled by being an integral part of the narcissistic CEO's success. So in each of these examples, people with this type of narcissism do not demonstrate the traditional overt, over-the-top narcissistic traits, but their emotional dependency on the primary narcissist validation and the extent to which they derive their self-esteem from that relationship are clear signs of vicarious narcissism. And it's crucial to recognize and address such dynamics in a relationship to promote healthy self-esteem and authentic self-identity. So with a lot of things going on, a lot of times people lose track of the self-love. And when you have self-love, you are living your life, your best life. You have to be your own best friend. And it helps bring people to you when you're authentic, or at least the right people. Because if you put up a facade, your friendships or relationships will be facades. They won't be real. They'll be based on a lie. And that's where things start to fall apart, or you start to feel that your needs aren't being met. And it gets difficult because in society, we have to kind of conform a little bit. And, sometimes we have to understand, when we speak something that it might hurt others. And there's times to say things, time not to say things, and it gets really confusing. You want to be politically correct, but you want to be authentic to yourself. You don't want to hurt other people, but you also want to, express your thoughts. And, throughout our lifetime, mutual respect, if we all had that, would be a lot easier. But love yourself. I have one-on-ones available. Topic requests are always welcome. And live your true authentic self. Let people know who you are. But unfortunately with narcissism, it's a parasitic type of relationship. And sometimes it's good-hearted, you want to help somebody achieve their successes, but don't forget who you are and what your needs are. So if you know somebody that this could help, please like, share, subscribe, and I love those comments. I'll see you soon, guys.